Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Billy and Phyllis toast to solving the world's problems at society. She apologizes for interrupting his evening with Sally. He says he's meeting up with her later. Phyllis grimaces. Is this a thing? Billy says Sally actually encouraged him to come meet with her. Phyllis is surprised Sally would care. At the door, Claire comes in wearing her new outfit and chats with Tessa, who says she's giving boss lady vibes. They go over how much she loved being Harrison's nanny, but she's excited about joining the corporate world. Maria joins them as the camera pans out and shows Ian sitting in a hat and dark coat at a table. Ian lurks as the young women sit and discuss Claire's success. Maria is distracted, and Claire asks if Sharon is okay. Maria tells her that her mom's medication was tainted and she blacked out before she allegedly committed the crimes. She's reached out to Alan Laurent to hypnotize her. Claire and Tessa learn that Michael and Nick are with her. She's worried something will come up that Sharon can't handle. Ian ducks out, pausing to look back in at them briefly. In the motel room, Jordan paces and looks out the window. She flashes to Ian approaching her in the prison yard and telling her he wants to help. She tells him that unless he can break her out of there, he should run along. He talks to her about finding peace and senses. She's searching for something. She tells him to go find another soul to save as they have nothing in common. He tells her the connection is real. Genoa City. I, too, have a troubled past in that fair city. Jordan remembers asking Ian what took him to Genoa City. He says love and a child, but things didn't work out as he hoped. He spent time in prison paying for his mistakes. Jordan guesses he was rehabilitated. Ian says he was. He was ordained as a minister behind bars and gives comfort to inmates who need it. Jordan asks what unwise choices he made. Ian was unable to overcome his hatred of the Newman family. Jordan gasps, the Newmans. Well, maybe we are kindred spirits after all. She tells him Victor destroyed her sister's life and then married the town tramp, Nikki. Her death is on his head. They took her niece Claire from her. The anger and the rage is beyond what I can handle. Ian tells her he can help her let go of the anger. At Sharon's place, she welcomes Alan in and thanks him for agreeing to hypnotize her, especially given he's retired and barely knows her. Nick listens as she explains she's tried this in the past with no success. Nick worries she's got her hopes up for nothing. Sharon tells Alan she's desperate and willing to try whatever she can to recover her memories. Michael arrives and introduces himself to Alan, who wants to get started. Nick wants to make sure if anything disturbing comes up, he'll be able to bring her out of it before she's traumatized. Alan reassures him. Nick doesn't want Sharon to suffer any more than she already has. At society, Billy tells Phyllis to work on getting over her issues with Sally, who is a class act. Phyllis chuckles. She'll put that on her to-do list. Billy doesn't want Phyllis to do anything extreme and asks what's going on with her. Phyllis asks, "Don't you get tired of it?" He asks her to be more specific. She said you can be 1000% right about something. But everyone assumed you're wrong. No one believes me. No one sees me. They have an image of me, and it doesn't matter what I do. No one changes their thought of me anyway. No matter what she does, she can't change anyone's mind. So she has to get up every morning knowing she has to prove herself all over again. Billy can relate to that. Phyllis doesn't think he can totally relate because he's an abbot. He says it isn't all it's cracked up to be. Phyllis says he has family. Back up. She thought she did. Michael and Lauren have been her best friends, but Michael is defending the woman who killed Heather and framed her son. Now he has some kind of drug/insanity defense. It's all like a knife in her heart. Billy is sorry he let her down. Phyllis complains that no one believed her about Sharon, including her best friends. It was because it was coming from her. I'm never right. Billy's been up against that wall a few times himself. I get it. Being constantly underestimated and dismissed, it's infuriating. Phyllis thinks it's sad. Why do people do that with us? At their table, Mariah talks to Tessa and Claire about how intense the hypnosis session will be. She's worried about not being there for Sharon. Tessa urges her to trust her mom and the process. Claire is familiar with intense therapy and confirms it's not easy. But sometimes it's what you need to get to the other side and get the answers you need. Mariah knows they're right, but it doesn't make her worry any less. She's hopeful this will explain what the hall has been going on. At Sharon's place, Alan instructs her to take long, slow, deep breaths as she goes deeper, not a safe place. He counts backward from 10 and tells Sharon to go back to the night of the accident. What does she see and hear? Sharon says she's driving, and there are bright lights from a fast-moving vehicle behind her. It's a pickup truck, a dark color. She says it was going toward town. She pulled over to let it pass her. Nick whispers to Michael that Phyllis was going away from town when she was run off the road. Michael says she also mentioned seeing a dark truck come towards her. Alan asks Sharon what she's seeing now. Sharon says, woods. Darkness. It's so quiet. She gasps as she says there was a terrible noise. Someone must be hurt. She has to get to them. Alan counts her back out of the hypnosis. Sharon tells Nick and Michael she heard the crash in the distance. It wasn't her. She didn't try to kill Phyllis. Michael guesses whoever was driving the truck likely was. In the motel, Jordan continues remembering back to her talks with Ian in prison. She recalls apologizing for being rude to him. When they'd first met, she tells him she's been searching for happiness and has to resign herself to her fate. But there is something that I keep wishing for. My Claire, my niece. That the Newmans have taken her is more than she can bear. Ian says he lost his daughter to the Newmans as well. Jordan muses. How about that? She thinks it's a shame they can't help each other get back their loved ones. At society, Billy tells Phyllis they've made plenty of mistakes over the years. There are a lot of people who have messed up just as bad as us, if not worse, but they get forgiveness. Phyllis nods. I know. What is it with us? She wonders how to fix the bad karma. Billy says maybe they don't. They don't need anyone's approval but their own. Phyllis isn't sure about this, but Billy wants to put it to the test by enacting their plan against Victor. Phyllis says they don't have a plan. He says they have to create a situation where Chancellor fails under Nikki's leadership. Phyllis says Victor won't let her fail. He made it clear it's not about business. He wants the company. Billy says they'll succeed as long as they keep their eye on the prize. They're smart, have a lot of experience, and don't take no from anyone. If there's no fear, then Victor, or anyone else, can't stop them. He's ready to go to war. Phyllis isn't sure she can follow him down that path. Billy reminds her what they're capable of with no restraints. Phyllis is fully aware of their potential. But this plan is dangerous. He asks when she stopped thinking big. Phyllis says, my kids. I don't know if I can do this, especially now, to my children. Isn't he worried about how this could impact his children? Billy thinks they can have the best of both worlds, protect their families and get what they deserve. Phyllis tells him there's nothing she would like more than to see Victor lose, and to be a part of it, but she's scorched her life. She told herself she was doing it for the good of her family, but she almost destroyed her relationship with her children. I promised them that I would never do something like that again. I promised myself. She urges him to take it from her, and maybe reconsider going after Victor. For your kid's sake. At their table, Maria gets a text from Nick. All good. Progress made. She sighs with relief and tells Tessa and Claire she has to go. At Sharon's place, she thanks Alan for helping her. She wants to keep going and explore the night that Heather died. Alan tells her it's important to remember she's repressing these memories for a reason. She shouldn't push too hard and needs to get some rest. Nick backs him up. He knows she wants answers, but they don't know how disturbing they may be. Michael tells Sharon to listen to Nick and Alan as he dons his coat. Maria comes in and tells her mom she looks really good. Sharon tells her she didn't force Phyllis off the road. She also remembered a dark pickup truck. Nick guesses that's the vehicle that forced Phyllis off the road. Michael says they need to locate that truck, or more importantly, the driver of that truck, to exonerate Sharon on this count. Sharon's so encouraged and hopes it will be as easy for her to remember what happened in the apartment. Nick thinks the driver could be tied to tainting Sharon's meds as well. Ian returns to the motel, where Jordan asks where he's been. Ian told her he had to clear his head. He beams, saying he's full of fresh possibility. On his wanders, he witnessed something very interesting, an intersecting of their two worlds that crisscrossed in a most wonderful way. He tells her that Claire and Maria are friends. There must be a way to exploit this to their mutual benefit. Jordan thinks their plan is fine as is. Ian fumes that she's not in a position to call the shots. At society, Phyllis asks Billy if he's mad at her. He's not. He understands where she's coming from, but this is something he has to do. He thinks he can do it and still protect his kids. Billy tells her she's not the first person to warn him about going forward. Jack did too. Phyllis has a feeling he's not going to listen to his brother. Billy says that's the thing. This is about a lot more than revenge. It's about taking back his opportunity to excel at something, which was stolen from him by Victor. He won't let it go so easily. Billy would love to see Victor brought to his knees, but this is about righting a wrong that was done to him, and to you for that matter. He tells her this is their chance to prove to everyone how formidable they really are. At the motel, Jordan warns Ian not to talk to her like an underling. He tells her the only reason they have to pivot is because she bungled things. He heard that Sharon is getting hypnotized to try and unlock her memories. Jordan protests. This is not my fault. Ian waves her off. He says Tessa doesn't know him. He can easily befriend her. I do have some charm. Jordan questions how he'll handle her niece. Ian tells her to see to her agenda and get Sharon out of the picture. Jordan asks how he expects her to do that. Ian says it's time for sweet, tragic Sharon to depart this earthly plane. For good. Next on The Young and the Restless, Jack stands his ground with Billy, Diane vows to prove herself at Jabbo, and Nikki helps Claire start a new chapter.